Hello everybody, this is my video for logo design principles. So first of all, I'm just going to be talking about the logo principles. There's a lot of principles that were introduced, but they're necessarily all based around the same type. So first of all, there's research, and when doing a logo, you have to do some research about the company that you're doing the logo for. Basically ask them questions about what they want, how they want it, do some background research on the company, uh, things like that to give you a basic idea of what the logo should be. Next is to brainstorm and generate ideas, and this is basically the same thing as preliminary sketches. What you do is the greatest designers all start out on a piece of paper, and what they do is they just put it on, get a piece of paper and just start sketching 20 to 30 logos, like basic ideas. And so when brainstorming, just think of what the company wants, or what bases in the company, and then just sketch about it and do lots of different sketches. They could be similar and they could be completely different. But after you create these designs, also this preliminary sketches, it's kind of like a tournament method where you draw 20 to 30 sketches, and then you knock off the ones that you don't like, and then you keep going and going. And this is supposed to be the longest process. This is the one that designers take the most time on, is the preliminary sketches. So after you've got the preliminary sketches, you develop vector designs, which basically means using Illustrator to create the design. And when creating the logo on Photoshop or Illustrator or whatnot, it's best to use grayscale, mainly for the cause of that it can look good in grayscale. Because if you start in color and you do out the whole logo in color, and then suddenly you go grayscale and it doesn't look good at all, then you're gonna have to start over. So best to start working from grayscale and then work into color, always remembering that it has to fit in grayscale as well. So after this developed Photoshop designs, the rules in here are: work in Photoshop or Illustrator, do it in grayscale. If you have to make sure that if it's still recognizable when it's small, and it's still recognizable when it's big. That's one of the most important things of the logo design, is to make sure that it's recognizable when it's small and when it's big, such like when it's on a piece of paper on the top, or when it's on a billboard. You have to make sure that it's still recognizable and doesn't look as bad, or doesn't look bad. Another thing that you want to remember, right down here, it tells about the stuff that you want to remember in your designs for logo principles. So the size, I just explained that you want to make sure that it's good in all sizes, whether it's really big or really small. The style, you want to make sure that the style is not over exaggerated. Keep it simple, keep it safe. Yeah, that was a good quote. Keep it simple, keep it safe. So use simple styles. Don't go overboard and do crazy brush things. And yeah, the style you should always use the same font and the same colors. You don't want to use more than 2 fonts, and you usually don't want to use more than 3 colors. And that's going with color. Typography is majorly essential in typography. You don't want to use one of the basic ones, the ones that they use all the time, such as Comic Sans or Redana or Times New Roman. The typography also depends on what the business is. If it's a business for, let's say, a really big, serious business, you're not going to use some spunky text like you would if you were using it in a younger perspective. If it was a younger perspective, such as like a music store or something like that, such as iTunes or whatever, just for like younglings, then maybe interesting text would be a better usage. But mainly keep to the keep basic unless it's specifically told that you should use something else. When I say basic, I mean sans serif and serif fonts that aren't the usuals, otherwise it will seem amateurish and too basic. And there is too basic designs, but it just has to be simple, not basic. Originality. You do not want to copy off of other designs. That's the mistake. These designs have to be your own thoughts put on a piece of paper onto a computer, not somebody else's design onto yours. And another thing about it is that you want to make sure that your logo can be used and doesn't have to be changed. So, such as in the example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Pepsi has changed theirs maybe 7 times since they started, while Coca-Cola has not changed once. So it's best not to change it. So the next, send the client, you just send it to the client so they can tell you what they want you to remove or add or change, and you finalize the design and make sure it's all perfect, pretty, and then you resubmit it to the client. And through these steps you can create a good logo. You want to make sure, I think the biggest thing about logos is not to make it too posh, meaning that don't want to make it so complicated, because it look like, I have personal experience on this. When I was doing a logo design class, I created designs that were just so complicatedly colorful, and I thought they looked good, but they looked supposedly horrible to others. So it is best not to make it super exaggeratedly colorful, and also you want to make the text readable. The reason why I'm saying this is because in some logos the background color messes up with the text, and which is not a good thing, because then that creates a bad logo. So these are the things about a logo design you need to remember. Thanks for watching, and bye.